minutes. Alternate hypothesis is mean time is greater than 30 minutes. If it is greater than 30 minutes means they are going to take the action. They are going to solve that one by something, by adding something they are going to do. Okay, what type of action they are going to take? That is multiple choices are there. Means they are going to change the drivers, or they are going to change the store locations, or they are going to change with respect to for deliveries, whatever the deliveries areas are there, they are going to limit that one. Anything can happen. For example, within the KBHP, the Pizza Hut, if I want a pizza from a Pizza Hut and I'm in the KBHP, my house in KBHP. Now in the KBHP, once I ask for the pizza, if I ask to deliver the pizza, means now they are going to identify the nearest Pizza Hut only. They are not going to identify the Banjara Hills or LB Nagar's Pizza Hut. They'll identify which is very close to the nearby within the KBHP. From that, they'll take the order. If, for example, there is no Pizza Hut in KBHP or in the near to KBHP, that is Nizampet or JNB or Kokarpalli, there is nothing. No Pizza Hut is available. Assume. Now, what they are going to say, for this pin code, there is no access. For this pin code, there is no access and you can't apply for this. You can't get the Pizza Hut. There is an alternate like McDonald's or something. They are going to show us the options, right? So here, the null and alternate hypothesis. First step is null and alternate hypothesis. What is the second step? Level of significance. What is the question? In the question, they have given level of significance. Alpha is equal to 0.05. Directly in the question itself, they have given. So we are considering the same. Next, what is the third step? Calculate the test statistic value. So since we are working on the one sample, now we are going to apply the test statistic called as, for one sample, when you are working on one sample, if you are working on one sample, you are having two options called as one sample Z test and one sample T test. Two options are there. Okay. So T test and Z test. What is meant by Z test and what is meant by T test means, this is nothing but one of the most important interview question, Z distribution and T distribution. What is meant by Z distribution and T distribution means, if you convert every value to corresponding Z score, then it is called as Z distribution. Converting every value to corresponding Z score is known as Z distribution, which is called as standard normal distribution. We already discussed. That is Z is equal to X minus mu divided by sigma. Just you are converting every value to minus of mu divided by sigma, converting to every value. T distribution is nothing but converting every value to corresponding T score, not Z score. T score is known as T distribution. Sir, what is T score? T is nothing but T is equal to X minus X bar or mu, whatever it is. Okay, here we are going to consider the mu and sigma, something like this. Here you are going to consider X minus X bar divided by sample standard deviation. Okay, instead of population standard deviation, sample standard deviation, if you take, then it is called as T distribution. Okay, so when we are going to apply this T distribution and Z distribution means, if population standard deviation, that is sigma, is known, then Z distribution. If sigma, whatever the sigma is unknown, means they have not given the population data, then if the sigma is unknown, you are going to take the T distribution, that is T test. You are going to apply the T test. Okay, distribution completed. Question of distribution is completed. Don't write this one in the distribution. Sorry, don't write. Okay, G distribution and T distribution is this is the only difference. Okay, now the next one is, what is the difference between T test and Z test? What is the difference between Z test and T test? T test, Z test is if the sigma value is known, if sigma is known, then you are going to apply the Z test. If sigma is unknown, then you are going to apply the T test. What is Z test means? Z test is nothing but x minus x bar minus mu divided by sigma by square root of n. Means in the given data, they will be giving some data, right? The data set. In the data set, can you calculate the sample mean? Just a minute, guys. Okay. So now we are having with respect to some data like this. For any data, sample mean can be calculated easily. Now, what we are going to do, hypothesis testing is nothing but we are going to estimate the population parameter. In our case, mu value is greater than or equal to 30, mu value is less than or equal to 30, less than 30, right? Less than or equal to 30 minutes. That is null hypothesis. Alternate hypothesis is greater than 30. Now, here, the mu value, the population which we are going to estimate, the estimation is the mu. Now, in the question, sigma is given means you have to apply the Z test. In the question, sigma is not given means you have to apply the T test, which is nothing but x bar minus mu divided by, instead of sigma, you have to take S. S divided by square root of n. S is nothing but sample standard deviation. For the given sample, you can calculate the sample deviation, right? That is not a problem. But population standard deviation, they have to give in the question only. Otherwise, we can't calculate because there is no population data with us. Without population data, how we can calculate the population standard deviation? You may ask, sir, then how you are calculating the population mean? Yeah, I'm not calculating the population mean, but I'm estimating the population mean. This is the estimated value for which I'm applying the hypothesis test is for this value only. Right? Now, if you go with sample, if sample size is less than 30, then in that case, you have to go with Z test or T test separately. If the sample size is less than 30 means, just a minute. Okay. If separately, this is completed separately. If sample size is less than 30, that is n value, small n value is less than 30. In this case, you have to apply the Z test, T test separately based on the given sigma value. If the sigma is there means Z test, if the sample standard deviation means T test. If the sample size is greater than 30 or equal to 30, greater than or equal to 30, whether if you apply the D test or T test, both are same. Both will result the same value. Up to 1 decimal. Up to 1 decimal. That is, for example, 0.7 you have got like this. In the T test you have got 0.7 means here you are going to get 0.62 something like this. Up to 1 decimal, both will be approximately equal. If you take the sample size, if the sample size is greater than or equal to 1000, if the sample size is greater than or equal to 1000, the D test is exactly equal to T test up to 4 decimals also. That is the reason. What is the minimum sample size they are going to ask in the interview? You have to say the minimum sample size is required is 30. Minimum to minimum of 30 is required. Why 30 is required means because Z test and T test should be equal. Why Z test and T test should be equal? Because D distribution and T distribution should be equal. Why both should be equal? The sample standard deviation and the population standard deviation should be equal. If the sample size is greater than or equal to 30 means the population standard deviation and sample standard deviation are going to be equal. Means you have chosen a correct sample, right sample. Is that clear? Now, in our question, first we are going to see the mean response time of a random sample of 30 pizza deliveries. Means instead of giving the 30 different values, directly they only calculated and directly they are giving for 30 deliveries. That is n is equal to sample size of 30. The sample mean is 32. Directly they have given to us. Generally what they will give in the data set, they will give us the data like this. First record, what is the time? Second record, what is the time? Third record, what is the time? They will give the time of each and every delivery and we will calculate the sample mean. But in our case, directly in the question itself, they have given. Sir, why they have given like this means in the TCS exam, they'll give the question as like this. They are not going to give the data set and we are not going to import that data set in Pandas and we are not going to do that one. In TCS exam or certification exams, these type of questions you will expect. Whereas in real life, they are going to give the data set and we have to work. So here we are going to cover the certification wise and original wise. So both the things I am going to show you. This example I will show you. The same example I will take that as a data set and I will show you. Okay. So here directly they have taken a random sample of 30 and calculated the mean of 32. They only calculated already sample mean of 32. And the population standard deviation is given as 10. That is sigma value as 10. Means in the given question standard deviation is known. Since the sigma value of standard deviation known, so we are going to apply the one sample z test. That is z test is equal to x bar minus mu divided by sigma by square root of n. X bar is 32. Mu is for which we are going to estimate. That is null hypothesis we are going to make for mu is greater than, less than or equal to 30 or mu is greater than 30, right? So the same 30 we are going to substitute here. Sample standard deviation 10, size is 30. And you are going to calculate the Z test statistic value, not the Z score. Z score is nothing but x minus mu divided by sigma. Here x bar I have taken. Whatever the bar I have considered for the sample. For the given data, this is the x bar. So that is the reason I am considering the down with respect to the square root of n. Okay. So now here you are going to calculate the Z test statistic value. Once you calculate the Z test statistic, that is, this is the given data. Now this is the null and alternate hypothesis, first step. Second step is level of significance. Third step is calculate the statistic value, that is x bar minus mu divided by sigma by square root of n, which is equal to 1.09. Now whatever the 1.09 you have got, you are going to use the Z table. Go to the Z table and calculate the corresponding p value. That I have already explained in the descriptive statistics how to see in the Z table. Now the same thing in the Z table, whatever you are going to observe. See, let us go for Z table. Z table .net. Okay. So Z table, if you open here, we want with 1.09. Where is 1.09? This is 1 and 09 is this one. That is 0.86214. Right? So whatever the value we are having 1.09, it is giving the entire area towards the left side. But I want the right side value. Why I want right side value? Because in my alternate hypothesis, greater than symbol is there. Greater than symbol means right tail test. Right side value you want to calculate. So 1 minus of 0.86214. Once you calculate this one, that is 1 minus 0.86214, which is 0.13786. Now this is your p value. Now p value is greater than alpha, less than alpha? Greater than alpha. P high, null fly. Simple. You are going to say that pizza deliveries are within the 30 minutes only. You are going to confirm like this. Okay. So in the certification exam, they are going to give the question and they are going to give us a table. The table will consist of from here to here. In this, some value will be there. They are not directly going to give that this value. They will not give. They will give the entire table like this. They will take above 3 values, below 3 values. Okay, something like that. And we are going to select that one and we are going to give the answer. I have a doubt that x is equal to x minus mu divided by sigma, but y square root of n. That is Z score. I'm saying about Z test statistic value. G score is different. G score is nothing but x minus mu divided by sigma. Z test statistic, which is x bar, not x bar. X bar minus mu divided by sigma by square root of n. Is that clear? So the same thing we are going to do here. See, first I have calculated the G score. After calculating the G score, I have calculated and we got 0.13786. That is from Z table. I have shown you from Z table. Now in the Python, the same thing we are going to do by using the formula called as from SciPy. From SciPy, you have to import the stats module. In the stats, we are having stats.norm. What is norm is normal distribution. It is going to apply for normal distribution only. If the data is not normal, it is not applicable. Because the entire Z scores are predicted based on the normal distribution only. Sir, if the given data is skewed distribution, what I have to do? Convert to normal distribution. And then only you have to apply. Stats.norm.cdf. CDF means cumulative density function. Means from here to here, the entire density function it is going to calculate. This part, the entire area, cumulative. It is going to add this one, like this it is going to add, and the entire area will be calculated. That is called as CDF, cumulative density function of 1.09. If you calculate, you are going to get 0.8621, something like this. Now, 1 minus of that, if you do miss, then you will get the p-value. So for right tail test, you have to apply 1 minus of this. For left tail test, directly you go with the value. For left tail test, directly the negative, if you get the negative value, directly whatever the p-value you have got, directly you consider the same p-value. Because directly the left side value only you are going to get. Because the G test always gives the left side value only. So for left, there is no problem. For the right side only, there is a problem. For right side, you have to do 1 minus. Is that clear? Like this, we are going to confirm. And Z value of 1.09, the p-value we are calculated as 0.137. Since the p-value is greater than alpha, we are going to say that there is no sufficient evidence to reject the null hypothesis. So we are accepting the null hypothesis. P high, null fly, null means accept the null. So there is no evidence to reject the null hypothesis. So you have to say based on the null hypothesis only. The output should be whatever the final answer you are going to say. You should not say, sir, accept the alternate hypothesis. You should not say alternate hypothesis. You have to say every time with null hypothesis only. Your final answer should say with null hypothesis only. Okay, the judge is going to say there is no evidence for proving that you are a criminal. So that is the reason I am going to say that you are an innocent person and I am going to release. Finally, he is going to come to the null hypothesis only. Okay. Is that clear, guys? This is one sample. If you are working only on a single sample. Example number 2. This example, again, the same 5 steps. In your notes, first you write clearly, if it is a left tile test, left tile Z test. If it is a left tile Z test or T test, whatever it is, left tile Z test or T test, you are going to calculate the probability, whatever is given in the directly the Z table, the value. Directly the value in the Z table you consider. And if it is stats.norm.cdf of whatever the value you have got, that is Z value you have got, that Z value you have to substitute here. And this is the P value for you. If it is a left tile. For the right tile test, for right tile Z test, the P value is going to be whatever the value you have got, 1 minus, whatever the Z table value you are going to see, 1 minus you have to 2. From the Z table, whatever the value you have got, Z table value, your P value is nothing but Z table value directly. But here, the Z table value, you have to do 1 minus because right side part you want miss 1 minus left side area. Then only you will get the right side area. Similarly, 1 minus stats.norm.cdf. This is the Python code. Whatever the Z value you have calculated, substitute that Z value and you will get the P value. If it is a two-tailed test, then whatever the P value is equal to 1 minus in the Z table, whatever you are having, Z table value, for this you have to multiply into 2 times. You have to multiply 2 times. And the P value, whatever the P value you are going to get in this one also the same thing, this same above, whatever 1 minus stats dot norm dot CDF of Z value, the entire thing you are going to multiply into 2 times. Because 2 times, na? 2 sides, that side, this side, both the sides are there. Right? So that is the reason you have to multiply 2 times. Is that clear? Either you are going from the Z table. Z table is for certifications. If you are going for certifications, Z table you should understand. If you are working on the Python code means, then you have to know the Python. What is the syntax in the Python? Right? If you understand only the Python code means, tomorrow in the Z table you will not understand. Sir, they have not given us the Python, how we have to calculate, you will ask like this. So that is the reason. Right? Clear, guys? Anyone wants to write? Completed? If you want miss, I'll undo. Is that clear, right? Yeah. So here, for this example, please check and correctly formulate the null and alternate hypothesis. Two-tail formula is nothing but sadhana, that is right tail test into 2 times. Whatever the right tail test you have done, that into 2 times. The above one, whatever the above one you have taken, that into 2 times is right two-tail test. As it is, first you calculate the right, assume the right tail test and multiply into 2 times. Right? Okay, done. Now tell me what is the null and alternate hypothesis for this. For you, I'm going to give the hint. The hint is this one. While reading, focus on this word clearly. That is the hint. My hints will be like that only. I can't say directly answer. Yeah, formulate the null and alternate hypothesis in this case. Sorry. One minute. Mean is equal to 500 ml. Yeah, why? Okay. Okay. If it is more means what happens? If I take this one, what happens? Yes. So now who is checking this one? From whose perspective we have to do this one? From company's perspective. Why company's perspective? Why as not as a quality inspector perspective? Because the word of corrected is there. Who is going to correct? Company is going to correct. Quality inspector, why he will correct? He will give the penalty and he will go away. His work is to penalize and to collect the amount. Whereas company people, they have to correct. So that is the reason the word corrected is there. If the correct word is there, the null and alternate hypothesis will be like this. Mu is equal to 500 ml. H1 is mu is not equal to 500 ml. If the word of corrected is not there in the given statement, read once again the same. Now this is from quality inspector perspective, whether to be continued or to be stopped. He is going to stop. From him perspective, the H0 will be mu is greater than or equal to 500 ml and mu1 is less than 500 ml. If the same word is not there, means the entire null and alternate hypothesis will be changed. This is from quality inspector perspective. This is from company owner perspective. The word of corrected means that one. Like that, we are understanding which is to be done. So while reading, you have to clearly focus the each and every letter. Just by saying with your eyes from top to bottom and conclude that this is the answer. Instead of doing in 10 seconds, if you take 20 seconds more, what happens? Because you are in the learning stage. When you are going for the exam, by that exam, you are going to practice. By that time, you will practice. Practicing more things, automatically you will be getting with respect to less time. But initial question, learning should be taking more time. Remember this one. Learning should be more. Your practice should be, as the practice time increases, as your practice time increases, your time of doing the question will be decreases. The more you practice, the time will decrease. Initially, it is difficult to formulate the null and alternate hypothesis first time. If you explain with multiple examples, it is easy. If you try still more multiple examples, it will be still easy. As the more easier, somewhat faster we can explain that things, right? So here in this case, you have to practice more things. When you are a learner, don't think that you are understand everything and directly you start applying. Then automatically at the end, you will be lost. Okay. Generally, whatever the suggestions I'm giving, whatever is applicable for me, I'm giving the suggestions. Whether you are interested, means continue. Whether you are not interested, means as per your choice. That is my choice. Whatever I'm just saying is suggestion only. It is not mandatory. When I'm learning the things, means I will have so much of patience. I will try with respect to multiple examples. In this itself, if this is not the value, 0.5 was given, what I have to do? If this in this question 0.1 was given, what is the thing? For the same example, I will try for different things. If this is 505, 510 if I take, what happens? If 495 is there, what happens? One example my professor has told me is I will try within that only 10 examples. And I will check myself. Okay, null and alternate hypothesis will be the same. Level of significance is going to change. And z-test I'm going to apply. And based on the z-test, I'm going to accept or reject the hypothesis. As the alpha changes, the rejection will changes. Based on alpha only, the acceptance or rejection will be there, right? So as I change the alpha value, everything will change. Like this, I will practice and I'll make sure on that particular given example, it is very clear. Now, once the given example, whatever it is very clear for me, now I'll try with a new example in the statistics textbook. First statistics textbook is completed and I'm doing correctly, miss. Then I will open the Google and I will try for the interview questions. In the interview questions also, I'm getting correct answers, miss. Then I will feel myself, oh, topic is completed. For me, then the topic will be completed. Then I will move to the next topic. Otherwise, I'll stick there only. That is my way of practicing. For that, for me, it takes almost 3 hours to 4 hours. I'm not that much of fast learner or that much of super brain. I don't feel myself as a super brain. If I feel like that, means I should be the Google CEO. I know what is my level, what is my brain level. And after that, today, whatever I'm learning, surely I'm going to forget after 3 days. My brain, manufacturing defect, what I can do. My brain in the 3 days after that, I'm going to forget everything. Okay, my brain was designed in that way. My friend's brain is there. He'll forget after 1 month only. He'll not forget initially. For 3 days, he'll not forget. For 1 month, he'll remember. After 1 month, he'll also forget. There is one more friend. He'll remember only for that particular period only. Once the bell rings, miss, he'll forget everything. In my class. So different persons having different types of things. So my brain is having 3 days, miss. What is the meaning of this, miss? Revise every 3 days once. That is the meaning of that. I used to open my book again. I used to revise everything. Whatever I have completed, my running notes is there. Na? I will open the running notes or fair notes. Whatever the fair notes I have done, I will open that one. I'll recollect whatever I have done correctly. Whatever the mistakes I have done also, I'll write wrong. I'll not do like this. I'll take wrong like this and I'll write the reason behind that also. So that what is the mistakes I have done, I'll recollect myself. That is way of my practicing, I'm saying. Okay. Now, so many people will ask, sir, that much of perfectness, how you have got, sir, by explaining these things. When we are seeing the multiple interview questions, we are able to solve these many interview questions. How it is you are able to cover, miss? Because I have practiced in that way. I have seen the multiple interview questions from multiple websites. At that time, I have learned so many things. So that slowly, one by one, has been integrated. If tomorrow one more person comes to me, sir, in YouTube channel, I have observed yesterday in YouTube, this person has told this particular things very easily, sir. And there he has applied some different process, and that was very easy when you are compared to yours. If some students tells me, I will not take as a critic. I will take as an advantage. I will ask, what is that YouTube channel? And I will also listen. If possible, I will copy. In the next class, I will replace this one to that one. I want easiness only. Everyone wants easiness only, right? If that is easy, miss, I will convert to that one only. What's wrong in copying? At the end, we want easiness. We want the answer that to easy way. Why I have to take it as a negative way? This student is pointing me. If I get that, if I think in that way, what I will get? Just apply that one. If the student points me that you have done a mistake, sir, this is you are saying in a difficult way. If they points me, what is the thing I will get? Nothing. If I change myself, what I will get? Surely the next batch will be easy. Automatically, I will get a good feedback score. If a good feedback score is there, miss, automatically I will get a good number of batches, more salary. Now tell me whether I have to take in a positive way, I have to take in a negative way. Oh, this student is saying about me the critics, so I have to take some kind of revenge. Should I think in this way or should I think in that way? Which one? Just apply that logic. So that is the reason I will never have any revenge on any of the student. While this one, subject wise, if I say something, if I give assignment, or if I say something to do that work and the students has not done miss, then I will take the revenge. That I will take. Because why I will take that revenge miss? Why they are not doing my work? The reason behind that. Why? If I give some work and the students are not doing that one, what is the meaning of that? They are taking me light. It's lightly. Sir will give like that only. Will no need to do. They will take me light. Since they are considering me as a careless, so I want to prove myself. For that, I will take the revenge. Sir, how you are going to take the revenge, miss? Tomorrow there will be some work. Surely you are going to message me after the classes. At that time, I will not respond. Simple. Sir, indirectly you are warning us, sir. Yes. Not indirectly. Directly, I am warning you. If you don't do my work, miss, I will do like that only. Not in the classes. During the classes, after the classes, additional work will be there. That I am saying. That will be dependent on only on the relation, right? Example, pure example. Okay. Everything erase. Example only. How am I using eraser and erasing? You also erase the same way. Now, let us get into this problem. Now tell me what is the null and alternate hypothesis? Oh, already completed, right? Null is nothing but equal to 500 ml and alternate hypothesis is nothing but not equal to 500 ml. Right? After this, you are going to take the alpha value. Alpha value is in the given question alpha value. Yes, they have given the alpha value. Since they have given in the question alpha value, I'm going to consider this one. Otherwise, I'll write 0.05. Now, alpha also completed. What is the third step? Z-test I have to apply. Since population standard deviation was given. So first, let us write, assume the sample of 30 milk carton boxes has been selected. Miss sample size of 30. And a sample mean, that is X bar is equal to 505. The population standard deviation is 10 ml, that is sigma is equal to 10 ml. And perform a hypothesis test of 0.03, that is alpha is equal to 0.3. Population mean of 500 ml and determine whether the filling process. Population mean they want 500 ml, it seems. Miss mu value is equal to 500. So now the test statistic I am going to apply, that is X bar minus mu divided by sigma by square root of n, which is nothing but, where is X bar? 505 minus, this one is 500 divided by 10 square root of 30. And I'm going to calculate the Z value. Whatever the Z value I have got, now once I calculate the Z value, now this is whether it is a left tail test or right tail test or two tail test. Means it is a two tail test. Since it is a two tail test, whatever the value I have got here, I have to check the probability in the Z table and I have to do 1 minus of that. 1 minus I have to apply. 1 minus the probability I have to apply. And whatever the 1 minus probability I have after applying into 2 times I have to do. The same thing I am doing. That is step by step. Sample size of 30 and sample mean of 505, population mean of 500, sample standard deviation of 10, alpha is equal to 0.03. And I'm going to calculate 2.74. I will open the Z table. First, Z table. Z table 2.74. Where is 2.74? This is 2.70123 Means 0.24 is this value. 0.270, 0.271, 0.272, 0.273 and 0.274. So for 0.274 the value is 0.99693. Since it is a two-tailed test, I am going to do 1 minus of this into 2. And I am going to calculate the p-value. Based on the p-value, I am going to accept or reject the hypothesis. So the p-value 1 minus, so I am going to open the calculator, that is 1 minus 0.99693. Once you got this value into 2, that is 0.00614. The same way, whatever the calculator is there, the same calculator will be in the certification exam also. There will be some calculator, there will be an icon for calculator, and you have to click on that icon and it is going to work. It is not Windows calculator. It is that app calculator. That particular exam pattern they are going to have now, inbuilt calculator is going to have. There you can open and you can work this one. There also calculator is available. Right? And you are going to calculate this one. Since the p-value is less than 0.03, p low, null go, reject the null hypothesis. Reject means null hypothesis of mu is equal to 500 ml. Reject this one and accept your alternate hypothesis. That is not equal to 500 ml. Means you are asking your company owner that you are not maintaining that particular things. So please correct your mission. That is your final conclusion and that is the hypothesis test answer. So here you have got this one and just you are going to multiply this one and you have got 0.0006. Since the p-value is less than alpha, we reject the null hypothesis. There is no statistical evidence to infer the null hypothesis is true. That is, mean filling quantity is not 500 ml. Ask the owner to rectify yourself. Like this, you are going to do the hypothesis test in your company also. Here, the data was given by default. The sample mean was calculated default. If they have given the sample, assume for the same question, in the same question, the 30 samples and sample mean was not given. They have given us like this. First one is 502 ml, 504 ml, 509 ml, 494 ml, 498 ml, 499, 500, 501, something they have given. Now, what is the sample size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. N is equal to 8. What is the sample mean? You have to calculate sample mean. In the question, they have given directly 30 samples and the sample mean they have given. If they have not given means we have to calculate. Manually, we have to calculate. How we are going to calculate? In the Python code is there na? Dot count gives you the count. Dot divide by n, that is mean is nothing but df of this particular column. Dot mean, if you apply, you will get the mean. Simple. That is sample mean. Sample data, sample mean. Is that clear? Any questions? That is with respect to in the alternate hypothesis, whatever you are having based on the symbol of alternate hypothesis. If you are having not equal to symbol, it is two-tailed test. If you are having greater than symbol in the alternate hypothesis, which you want to prove, then it is right-tailed test. Greater than symbol means positive value. This side rejection will be there. Left side test means you are having left side. Less than symbol means left side. Left side rejection is there. Two-tailed test means two side rejections. This side rejected, this side also rejected. If more than that also problem, less than that also problem. In the milk carton box, Milk example, if it is more than 500 ml also for us problem. If it is less than 500 ml also, that is problem. In the both the cases, it is problem. That is the meaning of two-tail test. Is that clear? Left tail, left, right tail, they are mentioned or not? What is this question? Left, right tail, they have mentioned or not? Sorry, Lakreddy Nasimha Reddy, I can't understand your question. Can you ask your question in a simple way or in a different way? This is too complex to understand. Ask in a different way. Right? You are understanding, guys. Anyone has understand the question, miss? You have to identify. Based on your null and alternate hypothesis, you have to identify. They will not give directly in the question. If they give everything in the question, then no need to do our work, right? We have to select the left tail or right tail based on the symbol. For example, first we are going to see for this condition only, let us go with this hospital example. Tell me what type of test is this? Right tail test or left tail? Right tail. Because if it is more than 8 only, you are going to reject. If it is less than 8 means why you are going to reject the null hypothesis? More than 8 only. More than 8 means right side. More than 8 value you are going to get. That is more than this. This part you are going to reject. That is right tail. How you are deciding that one means by using the symbol on the alternate hypothesis. Or you apply the common sense that when you are going to reject. When you are going to reject is when it is more than 8 only. You are going to reject. That is right tail. In this case also, whatever the pizza deliveries is there, if it is more than 30 minutes only, you are going to reject. If it is less than 30 minutes, you are not going to reject. So it is right tail test. Is that clear? That's it. T test, we are going to see Z test, T test, two sample test. This is one sample now. Within the one sample, these are the two. Similarly, two sample, more than two sample. More than two samples if they have given, that is called as ANOVA test or F test. Okay, all these tests we are going to see tomorrow. Okay, with each of them one example. Directly real time with data set. Directly by collecting the data set, not certification wise. Selecting the data set wise, we'll apply all these tests. In the certification exams, we'll get only with respect to one tail test, no two tail test or more than two tail. That is manual calculation is more in that. So that they will not give generally. Sir, why they will not give? Because whatever the time they have allocated, for example, if I am giving for you 500 questions I have given, assume, and I have given in 1 hour only, miss, can you write? Not only you, no one will write, right? So the question paper and the time, whatever the time they have allotted, it should be matched. Similarly, in the certification also, if they are giving for 2.5 hours of 3 hours or 1 hour, whatever the things, they are going to give according to that. The maximum time limit for any question in the certification will be maximum of 2 to 3 minutes. That is the maximum time for any question. It should not cross more than 2 minutes. If you have practice miss, you should not cross more than 2 minutes. Remember that one. If it is taking more than 5 minutes, miss, that question either you have not practiced or they have asked it in a wrong way. Generally, the questions will be of 2 minutes. Max 2 to 3 minutes. 3 minutes is the maximum. You can't cross more than 3 minutes. Whether it is a CAT exam, whether it is a GMAT exam, whether it is a GATE exam, whether it is a MCET exam, whether it is a IIT exam, any exam. For each 1 mark, the maximum time allocated is 3 minutes is the maximum time. That is the max. Generally, it will be 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes overall. Okay. Is that clear, guys? Yeah.